Welcome to this lead follow practice dance lesson. Learning tips including health and safety advice are in the description. This is less structured than other Ticket to Dance videos and intended to help you explore issues in your dancing with a bit less instruction, so just kind of watch the video, join in, work out what we're doing, find things that work for you, recreate the exercises. If you find an exercise in this lesson that you like, maybe pause the video, take your time trying it out, keep repeating it, and then maybe come back to the video another day to find another exercise that works for you. Each exercise, I think, will give you different things to think about in your dancing, different things to improve, and to get the full benefit, maybe split this up over a series of sessions. These lead follow exercises are all quite abstract, so I suggest doing a couple of dances first as a warm-up, just to get into your dancing so that then the exercises sort of feel a bit more real. You can kind of relate them.
Let's look at arms and making arms symmetrical. So if I go like this, the followers should do the same. So they look approximately symmetrical. If I do this, if I do this, if I do this. Do you want to have a go at doing it? And I'm often looking at my partner's kind of chest about here. That can work. Or just generally, or the shoulder, whatever works for you. And you might do it with a mirror just so you can check the arms. I'll now start, instead of just moving backwards, what if I keep the hands the same and move? What does the follower have to do to make the arms symmetrical? Aha! Keep the arms symmetrical, keep the arms symmetrical. So, do you want to have a go at moving? Now, I might do one or the other, who knows what I'm going to do. That's it, lovely. So we're trying to be always symmetrical. Always symmetrical. Ah, look at that. By the way, I would say never ever do this because I've got my elbows completely straight. Don't do that. Always slightly bent. And if we spin around, oh look, we should still be symmetrical when we get to the other side. Make a prediction. I'll get Sue to move. Do you want to move? Make a prediction. What am I going to do? Oh, there you go. I did that to make them look the same. Do you want to move again? Make a prediction. What am I going to do? Oh, there we go. I'm going to move, and then I want you to make a prediction about what you think Sue's going to do. And Sue, do you want to go for it? Oh, look at that. Sue had to move to keep the arms symmetrical. A great way to make improvised dancing work with the follower's hand on the shoulder, which is going to happen sometimes, is to imagine it's like a small tin of baked beans, like a small tin of fruit or vegetables, something like that. So it's got a bit of weight on there. So if I just move, the hand follows. By the way, what would happen if I rotate this way is that Sue's hand moves, so her whole body follows around. So if I move it back like that. Now I'm moving my shoulder quite slowly, so the tin of baked beans is staying on there. But if I move it really quickly, the tin of baked beans falls off. Because that's what would happen if you had a tin of baked beans, you just whipped your hand away, the tin of baked beans would fall down. So if I go like that, oh look, it just falls down. But watch out there, because what we had there was an example of magic hovering baked beans, because they kind of stopped part way. What we're looking for is the baked beans, so it gives a bit of weight, the baked beans just to fall, that's it. This is an improvisational skill. You might do a particular style of dance where you don't exactly do this, but a lot of people will do this and it works really well improvising. Right, so watch this. The hands move, the shoulder's moving slowly, so the hand follows it. Now I'll whip it away and the hand falls. By the way, you can do things like this. I might throw the tin of baked beans from hand to hand. And watch this, I'm going to try and do something clever. I managed to make it land on my shoulder. Then I might be able to make it flick up and then land on, oh, I missed. I might be able to make it flick up and then land on the other shoulder. So you might start recognizing things here from other dancers you've seen. That's the core skill that we can use, and we can improvise and just make all that happen really naturally. If I throw it in the air, watch how long it takes to go up and then back down again. So I'll do it a bit higher. Watch this. I think it takes a surprisingly long time. I'd make a second observation. Notice the time it takes to go up is about the same time as it takes to go down. 1, 2. 1, 2. Top, bottom. I'm throwing Linda in at the deep end because I've never done this with her before, so I'm going to throw her hand up in the end. Linda's going to see if she can make it look like a tin of baked beans. Do you know what? That was brilliant. Let's do it. So sometimes I might throw it a really long way in the air. I'm going to try and throw it a long way. There we go. Give me a bit more of a slap on the way down because it would be quite hard. Okay. Because I threw it further. But if I don't throw it as far, it won't be as much. Whoa. So I'm going to try and... I might throw it a long way, I might not throw it a long way. Ooh. Right. This is brilliant. Well done, Linda. We're going to have to now make it go wrong just so we can see what happens when it doesn't quite do what a tin of baked beans would do. So I'll get Linda to throw my hand, so I'm now following. I'd say that was okay. It dwelt a bit at the top. I would say if you're going to, maybe make it hold at the top slightly too long, because it looks quite nice. And if you watch cartoons, they often hang in the air for a bit because it kind of looks funny. So it works. So let's do it again. Now I'm going to show you what some people do, which I don't think looks very good. So watch this. Up, and then straight back down again. They allow it to fall too fast. So be patient, let it go up, and then take the same time to go back down again.
Very quick final thought. If you're holding hands with someone while you're dancing, you wouldn't expect your partner's hands to just spontaneously fall off, and you'd expect them to kind of make a bit of an effort to keep the connection but not try too hard. It's exactly the same, I think, with the hand shoulder. So that's another way of thinking about it if the baked bean thing seems a bit weird.
We're in ballroom hold. If I step away for this exercise, Sue's going to stay there. What I'm going to do for this exercise is I'm just going to move Sue's hand, for example, and watch how her whole body moves, and her feet can shuffle if necessary for this exercise. And we're looking to maintain exactly that shape. Why is that important? Because if I'm dancing with Sue, I want to be able to look up. And if I look up, I can only see Sue's shoulders and hands. And I can now predict exactly where the rest of Sue's body is going to be. Whereas, if Sue allows her body to move, do you want just like... So imagine you've got floppy hands. Watch this. I've just moved Sue's hand. The rest of her body hasn't moved. So I can't... Anyway, that might make sense, it might not. But it's a good thing. Hold it like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice just shuffling around like this and keeping in front of each other. And then what we might do is I might separate away, but I'm looking for Sue to maintain that wherever I lead Sue. Look, I'm just holding on the shoulder, the whole body's twisting round. Why did Sue keep turning there? A really good reason to do that is because a leader leads change. Once I'd started her turning, watch this. I'm going to lead a change. The change there is to stop. But once Sue has started, she just keeps going because there's no other instructions. She keeps going, and at some point, I lead a change, and in this case, it's to stop. Debbie's going to be following, and I'm going to be leading. I'm going to get Debbie to close her eyes. Debbie, would you like to start with... You're going to step first with your right foot. So you want your weight in your left foot. I'm going to step first on my left, which means the weight's in my right. And this is our position sideways. Let's open our eyes and let's just turn around. Now we'll just show you from slightly sideways on so you can see it from a different angle. So if Debbie closes her eyes, Debbie's going to step first with her right foot, so her weight's in her left foot. I'm going to step first on my left foot, so my weight's in my right foot. Now I'm the leader, so I get to choose the direction. Debbie will just feel it through her hands. That's how she'll know which way to step. So, Debbie, close your eyes. And then what you can do is you can close the other foot. That's it. And what you're aiming to do is leave... Which foot are you going to step with next, Debbie?
My left foot.
Excellent. Now, you see, Debbie knows that, and I think she can feel it. And, yeah, I don't think there's any weight in that foot, but just so that people watching the video can see, do you want to keep that nice and bent? That'll be really helpful. Now, people watching the video, and you now know because you just opened your eyes, I didn't actually move, did I?
No.
Did Debbie do the correct thing? Yes. I wanted to do that at the start of this exercise. It's all about the follower following their hands. It's actually irrelevant what I do. But for this exercise, you can play around with doing things like that if you like. Do you want to just come back across? But we'll start again, and I'm going to move at the same time. So we'll get Debbie to close her eyes. So Debbie's going to step first with her right, I'm going to step first with my left. You might already be joining in a bit, or you might just still be watching to work out what's going on if you're watching this. That's it, and close the foot when it's finished, and just show the people in the video, watching the video, that what you're going to do next. So show that you're left, that's it. So now you can see you won't necessarily have your knee bent, but it might be a good idea to keep it bent because it acts as a way for your body to really clearly remember which foot you're going to step with next. Now, I could step backwards, I could step forwards, or I could step to my right. I can't really step to my left because my other leg's in the way. So I'll pick one of those three directions. Oh, so I went backwards, which meant Debbie came forwards. So that's it. Again, Debbie is ready to step with her right foot, but it's nice to show it's bent, and you can maybe even lift it off the floor, and it just shows really clearly. Excellent. And if you're doing this, watching the video with somebody, the fact that you're both bending your knees like that means you can work better as a team because you can see which foot the other person's on. You might be able to say, oh, did you take an extra step there? Right, let's do it again. Oh, I stepped sideways that time. Remember, if you're watching the video, don't copy what I'm doing. You can just do whichever one you like. So, which direction could I go as the leader? I could go that way forwards, or I could go that way backwards, or I could go that way to the right. I can't really go to the left. Okay, which direction could I go now? Ooh, I think I'll go that way. Which direction could I go now? Ooh, I think I'll go that way. There we go. Now, hopefully that kind of makes sense. You could pause the video, have a go at this exercise on your own. There's lots of benefits to doing this exercise. One of them is just that when you're actually dancing, as you watch more of these videos or do lessons with other people or watch how other people dance, however you're learning, you'll realize there's lots of moves where the leader and the follower do different things. Well, then how does the follower know what to do? Well, there's lots of ways they might know, but one of the ways is that they follow the lead. So let me try and do a weird move. So let's try and think of a funny move. Oh, here's a nice move that I like. Watch this. Cool. I'm not doing anything. Debbie's doing some nice stepping across. Debbie doesn't know that move. I just did that straight away. And Debbie just followed it. Isn't that fun? But yet that move relies on me not doing anything. How does Debbie know what to do? Because I lead her across, blah, blah, blah. There you go. So that's the benefit. Let's just look at some of the issues that might happen. Watch this. So we're going to take a step, and I'll get Debbie to really clearly show the next foot afterwards. Watch this. And step. Oh, wait. What's happened? Debbie's ready to step with the left, and I'm ready to step with the left. That can't be right. That can't be correct. What happened? Did anyone see what happened? We'll do it again. By the way, it was me that made the mistake. And step. I did an extra weight change. I'm going to do it in slow motion. Watch this. I stepped with this foot. Watch what Debbie does. Debbie just leaves that foot ready to step, and I kind of did an extra little weight change. Now, maybe I've done that on purpose because I know a clever move where I can be on a different foot, but for this exercise, let's not do that. So I should just be taking clear steps. Okay, so let's look at a mistake. I'm going to step with the left, Debbie's going to step with the right, and go. I'm going to try and lead us this way. Oh, I can't seem to step that way. Debbie, what's wrong? Oh, our legs. Okay. Legs in the way. So, you might know a way to do this, but for this exercise, we're saying it's not possible. So we've got to go either that way, or that way, or that way. We can't go that way. Do we have to start this exercise with the leader on the left, follower on the right? No, we don't. We could just start on the other side. So let's have the leader on the right, follower on the left. So you could start off like this if you like. And in this case, I could either go forwards or backwards or to the right to start the exercise. I'll go this way. And that's what it would look like then. And now I'm ready to step with the left. Debbie's ready to step with the right. I've prepped Debbie with a mistake. Let's watch this. So I'm going to lead. I'm going to step forwards. I'm expecting Debbie to come with me, and oh, that's strange. How come I ended up really close? Why didn't Debbie go very far? Surely that's impossible. Have a look at the arms. Debbie's allowed her arms to collapse. So as a follower, you want to keep your arms the same distance away, and that way, if the hands move, the whole body moves. So let's just do that again and do it without collapsing the arms, and we'll see what would happen. So I'm about to step with the left, Debbie's about to step with the right. There. So Debbie can then keep up with it. Let's do that one more time, because I think we messed up the footwork a bit there. And step. There we go.
By the way, this exercise we're about to do is particularly for Latin.
So we're holding both hands. Sue's going to start, so we just got to get started somewhere. Do you want to start with your right? Do you want to go backwards first? Oh, you're on the spot. That's great. Okay, so Sue's dancing on the spot. Now, Sue might go forwards or backwards or sideways or kind of New Yorker, and I'm going to try and lead each one separately. Oh, so I led her backwards. I led her forwards. Oh, I led her forwards again. I'm going to lead her into a New Yorker. Oh, sideways there. Let's make it a bit more difficult. We're just going to hold on with one hand. Not holding, doesn't matter which hand you use. I normally find that leader's left hand is easier, and then when you transfer to leader's right hand, it gets even harder. So maybe do leader's left next. So maybe I'm going to lead Sue to step backwards. If I did that, which foot should she step back with? It's a bit of a trick question, because the answer is whichever foot she's going to step with next. Oh, back with the right, back with the left, back with the right, back. So what's happening is this one hand is leading the whole body. So look at that, we can do New Yorkers, stepping on one side, then on the other side, just leading with one hand. And if I don't lead anything, we step on the spot. And this is generally a lot more difficult if you've only got one hand.
Here is an example of how we can do the same exercise with the hand on the shoulder.
We need two pieces of paper, and we're going to slap them together between our hands like this. You're right there. And the idea behind this is to demonstrate and practice that we need pressure between the hands. Not too much. We're not trying to push each other over. We're just a little bit of pressure, enough to keep the piece of paper. Watch this. We're just going to gently let off, and so the paper just starts to fall. Oh, so that's not quite enough, but we're not trying to kind of dig through the paper onto the other person's hand. It's just enough pressure to hold it there. And then what we do is we move around and just try and keep that pressure. And another option is you can throw away one piece of paper and just keep that there while you're dancing. Can you just keep a little bit of pressure on that piece of paper? Now, one of the things this can deal with is, Sue, do you want to show us what would happen if you allowed your hand to fall back too far? There we go. And if we really exaggerate it, now a lot of leaders, we're forced to keep following, and you might think, oh yeah, I can think of people that I dance with where that hand always keeps running away. Well, if we have a piece of paper there, well, guess what? We've got instant feedback. If the follower allows their hand to slip back, do you want to just demo that happening? We know what's happened. as we're dancing around, doing like a waltz or something, we're just going to try and keep that piece of paper there. Bum, 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 ba-dum, 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 ba-dum.
How does that work if the guy starts pushing her arm round and then the paper would automatically stay there?
So what you're saying is, what if this happened?
Yeah.
Does that happen to you sometimes?
Yes.
Then that's how the leader dances, and I guess you're just going to have to work with it. If you dance with them all the time, so like if that's social dancing, hey, that's just happening. Unless it's really painful, I just let it go. But I don't think that's ideal. Really, we're looking for a kind of symmetry, so it's like symmetrical.
Here is an example of the same exercise, but the follower is keeping the pressure on the piece of paper using the contact point between the leader's hand and their shoulder blade.
So the challenge is, I'm going to move Linda's hands, and then her whole body is going to move with the hand, because the tray has to stay in front. Can you see what's happening here? So how would I get Linda to turn like that? How would I get Linda to move forwards towards the camera like that? How would I get her to move backwards like that? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, now the reason I like this exercise is because we now remove the tray, but Linda has to leave her hands as though the tray's there, and in a minute we'll check that the tray's still there. So I'm going to move Linda's hands. What should happen? Aha, Linda's got it. Dun, 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 dun. Pick on me, see how well I can do it. I've got to leave my hands here, and then it's going to take the tray away, so I'll leave my hands exactly where they were, notice. And then I have to follow. So as the hand moves, my whole body moves around as though the tray is staying in the same place. Linda's having too much fun here.
I'm in charge.
Should we check how I'm doing? I think the tray's shrunk, actually. Yeah, the tray's shrunk. My hands are too close together. Right.
Go in the middle would be good.
Hopefully that makes sense as an exercise. It's really good, and if you dance with someone who keeps the way I'll describe it, the way I've seen a lot of teachers describe it, and it's the way I describe it a lot, but I do think the tray explanation is the best, is that you just want your hand in front of you like this. So maybe like a hands, I'll come close to the camera, just like the same distance, like kind of like that, and you just keep it exactly the same distance, exactly in front of your body. And if the hand moves, it stays in front. But I often find that's quite that can be quite difficult to understand, but I think if you're holding a tray it makes more sense. The tray thing also makes more sense because you never actually have your hand in front of your body, it's normally out to the side. Hence the tray makes more sense. I think this exercise is fun. I will often use this if I am teaching a dance class for a party, like a hen do, or like a wedding reception or something. It depends, but it's a fun thing to do. Right. It's also, I think, incredibly useful. We're going to put a balloon between us. Our challenge is to do good lead following, and the balloon will tell us if we're doing that. So it's really important, you are not trying to keep the balloon here, it will just tell you if you're doing good lead following. So let's have the leader start with the left, follower start with the right. I can either step forwards or backwards or sideways. Now let's just shuffle round. If I'm about to step with the left, could I step that way? Could I step that way? The answer is I could step that way because I'm free to go that way, but I can't go that way because that leg's in the way. Okay. So let's just shuffle around so you can see. The idea here is, with my upper body, Debbie's going to look at my upper body. I'm going to indicate which way we're going to go. Once Debbie's really sure which way we're going, she'll step, and then I'll just join in. So I indicated forwards, Debbie went, and I followed. That was really nice. I don't know if you can see on the camera, really good following from Debbie there. That was good decisive following from Debbie there because she had to step into me. I stepped after you, didn't I?
Yes.
So why did you have the confidence to step into me even though I was in the way?
I knew that you were going to move backwards.
So trust your partner, and ultimately you might burst the balloon if the leader doesn't move. It's just all fun. Right. So at this point, the leader's raised step with the left, follows raised step with the right. There you go. So find a balloon. Try this exercise. It's fun. I don't think it really helps for you to see a video of us doing it for ages. Although we're going to do it anyway after I've just waffled on for a bit, just so you can see, and we'll try and make some mistakes. Mistakes should happen. The most important thing I can say is you are not trying to keep the balloon in the air. Which sounds like a really weird thing to say, but watch us. We can keep the balloon in the air really easily. Just shuffle around. Look at that. See, we've kept the balloon in the air, but this is terrible dancing. So you're not trying to keep the balloon in the air. It's just the balloon is there to tell you how well you're doing. Let's look at a mistake. I'm going to make a mistake. Debbie's going to give me feedback on it, and then we'll talk about it. So it's going to start off fine. I'm raised step with the left, Debbie's raised step with the right.
Duncan, I can't go that way.
Ah, why is that?
I'm on the wrong foot.
Oh, look at that. Isn't that interesting? So Debbie is raised step with the left. How come I'm ready to step with the left? You might have worked it out already. Let's do it again. See if you can see what mistake I've made. I just did a little weight change. Did you see it? Basically, you can't do that in this exercise. You need to take individually clear steps one at a time. So I'll now do it without the mistake. I've got to step with this foot, so I can either go that way or forwards or backwards. I cannot go this way. There we go. So just clarifying there that you have to just take one step at a time. Something can happen during this exercise. It's easy to say, but it's just to do with the exercise. Actually, I think it is showing you an issue in your dancing generally. Let's look at it. Is this happening to you? I'm going to try and lead Debbie to step backwards, but let's imagine that Debbie's like, well, I'm not really sure. I'm going to wait and see what Duncan does. Kind of stuck. Why am I not moving? Because I want Debbie to start, because I need to know Debbie's taken the lead. So what is Debbie mistakenly thinking? You're
I'm waiting for you, Duncan, to move.
Yeah, basically the follower can't do this, because if a leader were to just move anyway, then once you start dancing very complicated moves, or once you start dancing to very fast music, you are going to knock your partner over. It's basically inevitable, or you are going to injure your partner. Even only lightly, they may just end up with little strains and things, because you're going to be forcing them. So in general, as a leader, you should be waiting, you should be leading, and the follower actually initiates the movement. So let's look at how it should happen. I start moving like this. There we go. And Debbie was the first one to move. So if you're getting stuck in this situation where as a follower you're like, yeah, but I'm waiting for the leader to go, then you kind of need to go. And that's you need to have the confidence to go. Okay, there's a but. And the but is that I know that some of the people watching this, there's going to be a debate going on now where the follower's going, yeah, but I don't know which way you want me to go. Well, that's a different issue. So watch this. I'll try and recreate that. Debbie, why haven't you done anything?
You're not giving me any
Yes, there you go. So in this case, I need to give a bit of an indication. Now watch this. I'm now going to give an indication, but Debbie's not going to do anything. Debbie should be moving once I give a clear enough lead. There we go. In summary, the leader indicates the direction, the follower moves that way, and then the leader goes with them. Just as an illustration, we're going to do the exercise and kind of talk it through as we do it, and we're going to try and make some mistakes and see what happens. Okay, I'll start with the left, you start with the right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, wow, that was good following because we managed to keep the balloon there. I always find it slips a bit when I go backwards. Oh, I didn't see you going there. Whoops. Okay, let's try again. Why did the balloon go there?
I didn't make a strong step forward.
Do you know what? I'm not sure. I think maybe I stepped too far. Because I think with this exercise, I'm not sure you can step that far. I think if we were dancing normally without the balloon, I reckon that I could probably really step out of your way.
Yes.
So maybe that's where the balloon exercise doesn't quite work. Let's try again.
Thanks for watching. This is one of a series of nearly 50 lessons that create a complete partner dance learning experience. The video description and my website have lots more information to help.